Hey guys, well, welcome back to Sword of Convallaria. In today's video, I want to go through my top 5 epic heroes that I've been using between my two accounts. I've been getting some really big use out of these guys, and honestly, they're just good splashable heroes if you don't have anything better that you pulled on your account. I'll go through when you should use some of these characters and stuff like that, but there are other ones that I've been playing around with that are really good, but they have like more unique synergies and they're more cheesy in their usage. These ones are the ones I feel like are splashable, and anyone can get some really good use out of them. So the first one we're going to be, like I said, we're going through the epics, the gold characters. The first one is going to be Angel. By far the best healer in the game if you don't have Inanna, and I think just about everyone would be building this character. You get her for free, you get free dupe copies of her and stuff like that. Absolutely fantastic. Now her core attribute is nice that we do get the buffs, so we can get some of those buffs, but that's not the main thing. So her base ability that she has is a single target heal, but you can see it's got a really short range on it. The thing that she has, which you unlock as her first skill, which is super handy because it adds such great coverage to her, is this AoE heal. Now her single target heal is 100%, this one is 60%, but you get the dispel on this one as well, but it heals all allies within 2 tiles around the target. And if you see down here, it's actually got a longer range than single target heal. So this effectively extends the range of which you can heal a single ally that's away from you by like 3 tiles. Because if you've got one ally that's really low and they're too far away, you got no chance of reaching with your single target heal because it's got a small range. If you have an ally in between that, you can use the longer range on this AoE, target it on the ally in between yourself and that weakened ally, and then it's going to do the splash AoE heal to them. So it really extends the reach of her healing, which with her single target heal is really short. So this ability is absolutely fantastic. And then we get the passive heal at the end of turn. Not too bad. This one, bit of damage mitigation. But like I said, the main thing is just basically in the early game progressing through, it's having the 2 heals. The single target heal, which is a bigger heal when you need it, and then the AoE heal. And this is only a cost of 2, which isn't too crazy at all. So I think she's just an absolutely fantastic healer. There's not too much I want to go through past that. Like, she serves her purpose. She does healing good, and that's pretty much the gist. She gives the buffs as well, and then she also cleanses debuffs. Pretty just all-round solid kit. So that is the first one. The next one I'm going to jump into is my personal favorite of the lot that I'm going to go through. Dude, I just realized I got 6 that I want to go through, but we're going through 6, all right, guys? Suppression's a bit of a hot take one. I just absolutely love this guy. The dude has, check his passive. So magical damage taken is decreased by 17% before taking active attacks launched by enemies within 3 tiles around the character from the front or side. Performs preempt, dealing piercing damage. So we got the piercing damage, and it's this preempt damage, a special type of damage. So we've got that, but then when we go into his skills, if we go up here, we've also got a strike back on him, but this ability is insane. So this one, it does cost 3, but it heals him it heals himself, dispels 3 debuffs, gives him physical defense and magical defense, and then he takes attacks for all other allies within 2 tiles. Now, this is a huge effect. Like, this is a fantastic effect to have on your tanky characters where they can actually take the damage for your allies. Not only that, but this guy is getting himself super tanky beforehand, and he's also getting all that reflective damage that he does. But then it also increases the trait effect to 200%, which means now he's going even more ham, and this lasts for 2 turns. So the effect, like, I just really like this skill and this guy. When you see the damage that he can start reflecting, mine's is under geared now because I think I've got the 1 spear built on my what's her face, on my Gloria. So I haven't been able to use him much lately, but dude, I absolutely love the way this guy plays with the taking attacks, with the strike back, with the passive damage. It's honestly just really cool. And you can see when performing an active attack, damage increased by 10%. When the character strikes back, damage increased by 30%. He's just got this whole solid tankiness plus strike back damage, plus protection of the allies. I really love this guy's kit. Honestly, some situations I would rather use him than Mytha, but Mytha's got she's got a decent sword. I just don't have the stuff to level up all these gears. But I think Suppression is one that you guys could get a lot of fun out of. And definitely when we need 2 teams, he's going to be my second tank unless I get something else by then. But I think Suppression is fantastic. Moving on to the next one, Crimson Falcon. There's not too much that needs to be said. We get free 5-star on this character, and just her kit is just really solid in general. Especially when we look at the passive, jump is always a good thing. A lot of these characters will have jump, but jump is always just super handy for dealing with different terrain and stuff like that. But when we get to move tiles again, the moving tiles can be really effective with this character for repositioning. Any one of these any seekers that can reposition is super helpful with just their positioning and stuff like that. Now, she doesn't have the most giga damage as something like Cole, but she still works super well in what she wants to do. I take this one here. If there are 2 or more allies within 2 tiles at the start of the turn. Now, the thing that you can abuse this is because she does have that passive, which lets her move again, you can move her back into range of allies to proc this and then move back again. I chose this one over this one. I think this one's the pick. And just note, with my talent choices, I've still got to make a cheat sheet, but I don't look at CN for stuff like this. I look at the characters myself and I go through and I'm like, this is what I want and that's what I'm going to do with. Especially with these lower rated characters that I'll probably eventually replace. I'd rather just have some fun. This one, really nice. The enemy with the highest physical attack, we get to reduce their physical defense massively, which is pretty huge because normally it's the big attackers that we want to get rid of first and deal with, which is super solid. And then when hit by an active attack, if dying, you get dodged. The dodge can be clutch in certain situations. But in general, I think this character has really good movement range, really good passive from her core kit, and then really good abilities like this that allows your team, not only just her damage, but that's also supportive for your allies. And that's a 6-tile radius, which is really big to get those debuffs on. So I really like this character. I think she's probably the best free-to-play Seeker or like core rogue type character. But for me, I did get Nonowil, so I am using her instead currently. Moving on from that, we've got Stormbreaker. Now, Stormbreaker is super fun. I think the most strikes I've done in one loop is 4 AoE hits. She's got a wicked kit for dealing AoE damage, and I absolutely love it. So this one increases AoE damage by 15% when defeating any target. Casts an attack dealing 40% physical damage to all enemies within 1 tile around the character. Now you can see how we can start to snowball with this. Now if we go over here as well, this is where the big one is. This one is after initiating an active attack, it deals 20% physical damage to all enemies within 1 tile. So there's an extra attack, but this one, when attacked by front or side enemies, it decreases damage taken by 8% and performs a strike back, dealing 45% physical damage to all enemies within 1 tile around the character. So you can see she's just always doing AoE damage. If you played Star Rail, you know, she's just heard her. She's just twirling. She twirls nonstop and she just keeps smacking stuff. So she is so great for AoE damage. And if you get one of those scenarios where there is a good chunk of enemies grouped up and you can just plonk her in the middle and then she can just go doing, it's super satisfying. Great character, great functionality for it. Moving on from that one, we've got Abyss. I'm not gonna lie, for me, the big thing in Abyss, and I still use her in tech situations a lot of the time, is this ability here. Single target attack, deals 35% damage and inflicts sleep for 2 turns. 2-turn sleep, just lock out a threatening character. It is a 4-turn cooldown, but I don't really care. I'm just locking them out. I think it's pretty solid. And then we have this one. At the end of the turn, inflicts 2 random level 1 attribute debuffs on 1 random enemy within 3 tile radius. I do like this for the debuff factor, especially when you can sleep someone and then be close to them because you slept them. And then when they come out, they got debuffed heavy. Now, I do believe there would be a build in the future where you can build for this one, which is a big AoE, which costs 3. But then you could pair that with this one, which is the same passive that Beryl has. So you basically always have the energy to do this big AoE attack that puts passive skills off and reaction skills off. I do think that could definitely be a play, but for now, I don't plan on using her too long term, so I just wanted to go ahead and get these debuffs. But I do think there is going to be different ways to play her. And the final unit that I want to jump into is Divine Grace. Where'd your weapon go? Oh, it's on. Okay, it's on him. So Divine Grace, this guy is actually really cool. Now, this guy, if you want to be playing this guy, he works super well with Gloria. The reason being is increases physical attack by 7%. The character additionally deals 15% more damage when having 3 or more buffs. And Gloria, what does she put on at the start of the battle? Attack up, speed up, and movement up. So like instant job done. And then if you're also pairing this guy in a team with Angel as the healer, then you're looking pretty solid from there, because Angel also is putting those extra buffs for consistency of having the buff uptime as well. And these guys obviously don't have a weakness. It's just an all-round fantastic, because they are all from the same faction as well. But as we dive into it, his base skill, it's a 3-tile range. It's basically Gloria's charge in range with the knockback as well. So it's basically Gloria's attack, but he doesn't move. And that's what's great about it. We got another knockback potential by 2 tiles from range, and you're not putting yourself into danger to do that knockback, which is fantastic. So that ability is wicked. I do think for his first one, there would be a scenario and some people would go for this one, but I just think this is great. This has, once again, range, but then it has the AoE. This is fantastic for like breaking barrels and stuff. You know, if there's an enemy in the direct line or something like that, you can splash damage. Or if there's just like a rock nearby and you can hit that and splash damage onto a barrel and explode it. And there's just so much potential with this ability that I absolutely love. This one, okay, the character gains 15% bonus attack and 30% bonus defense while not affected by a debuff and affected by at least 3 buffs. Once again, Gloria, 3 buffs instantly. Then we have the healer chick. Dude, I've already forgotten her name. But she's always cleansing the debuffs, so she's keeping him primed. So those 3 in a team just work super well. And once we need 2 teams, that is probably one of my core teams that I will be focusing on. Chuck those with a tank, and then you're pretty much good. Slap maybe a melee DPS in there, and we're good to go. But that is basically what we're looking at. And because, like I said, I'm looking at using that team with the healing, and because the healing is pretty wide range and we do have passive heals at the end of turn, we then have increases the healing received by 10% when receiving healing, gains damage up by 20% for 1 turn. So you can see how this guy synergizes super well with Angel and Gloria in a team. So that is going to be one of my teams in the future when we, you know, start needing to split up and stuff like that. I think that's just an incredibly solid team call. And then I'll probably pair that with something like Suppression and maybe Crimson Falcon, and away we go. We're pretty much cooking from that point on. And then I can use the others for my other team. But those are the units I definitely think if you have gaps in your team, they are fantastic. Just keep in mind with something like Abyss, she is not there to replace a Beryl. She doesn't have the damage output. She is there for the debuffing capacity and the control. That sleep is so clutch in a lot of the hardest situations, especially when you start pushing in tower, you will get use out of her a lot. But Crimson Falcon, I think that's a staple for any free-to-play player who does not have Cole or Nona-Will. I think she just goes straight in because she's just so good at her role for a free-to-play that doesn't have anything else. Suppression, like I said, the problem is we have Mytha, so he has trouble getting a role until we need 2 teams. Stormbreaker definitely gets a slot in a lot of AoE situations, in my opinion. And like I said, Divine Grace is actually just a great range damage dealer. Say you pulled a Gloria and maybe a Cole on your account, and that's all you've really got. You slap Divine Grace in there with the Gloria and the Angel and the Cole and then Mytha, and you're pretty much set to go. So I just think these units are really worth taking a look at. There are a bunch more who I've leveled on my other account who I might spotlight in another time, but I just think these are the most splashable ones that everyone can get some use out of. And it's honestly, even at this level, it's not too expensive to level some of these guys up. Gear is more the issue, and you can test them out and have a bit of a play. But the thing is, like Suppression, we get a bunch of dupes for free. Angel, we get a bunch of dupes for free. Crimson Falcon, we get a bunch of dupes for free. So you can't let it slip that we do have even upgraded passives on these guys straight away, which is fantastic. But anyway, guys, I'm going to stop rambling. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.